Once upon a time, a young soul was lost in a quaint village nestled among majestic mountains. Regardless of the task at hand, he was unable to complete it. When he returned home, sadness sat in the air, and his cries for help went unanswered. A wave of pain seemed to pour down on him from all sides, and the realization that he might escape his suffering remained unreachable. Sleepless nights cast deep shadows under his eyes, confirming to the emotional burden he carried. At times, he wondered if life itself was a punishment. Nonetheless, his love for his family kept him from taking extreme action. He resolved to face any challenge, even if it meant walking on hot pavement, in order to break free from this agony. While wandering the streets looking for answers, he came across an elderly woman who advised him to seek a wise man rather than a sorcerer. "There is a wise man in the hills," the woman said, with a mantra capable of dissolving all sorrows, filling life with happiness and abundance. This idea sank deep into the young man's mind, convincing him that only the sage could relieve his pain. When he arrived at the sage's hermitage, he shared his burden and sought guidance. Instead of providing magical solutions, the sage taught about the fleeting nature of sorrows and the importance of acceptance. He taught that true peace comes from within, not from outside enchantments. The impatient young man, on the other hand, insisted on a quick fix. The wise man then revealed that the true magic was in changing one's mind and actions. Disillusioned, the young man left and sought a sorcerer, believing that only magic could alleviate his suffering. His life was not improved by performing the sorcerer's tricks, rather, it became worse. Those who wielded magical arts distorted him, and his wealth quickly dwindled. It occurred to him that by seeking the sorcerer to alleviate his sorrows, he was actually growing them. During his journey, he realized that true transformation begins within, not with external illusions. In his search for answers, the young man sought advice in every village alley. He was advised to consult a wizard and perform rituals at home to cleanse it of negative energies. After a few days, the young man realized that nothing had changed in his life as a result of this idea. Sadness engulfed him, and his worries grew, leading him to believe that his woes would never end. In a time of despair, he ran into an old childhood friend who, upon hearing his laments, advised him to seek out a wise Zen monk. The young man was moved by this suggestion and sought out the Zen master in his retreat. When he arrived, he saw the monk deeply immersed in meditation. The young man waited quietly for the meditation to end, noticing the monk's dark circles under his eyes, a sign of his profound understanding of life's ups and downs. As the meditation came to an end, the Zen monk noticed the young man's sadness and inquired about his mission. The young man recalled his saga of pointless attempts, including sorceries and magics that not only did not alleviate but worsen his sorrows. He admitted to thinking about ending his life, but family obligations kept him from doing so. With hope in his eyes, the young man begged the Zen monk to show him the way out of his misery. He was willing to face any challenge, no matter how difficult, and sought guidance in order to truly free himself from the bitterness that plagued him. The Zen monk sensed the young man's emotional state and, after hearing his story, explained that mantras to relieve sorrow were not freely given, they required earnest effort to be deserving. The young man was initially skeptical, believing the monk would also ask for charity. Still, he offered to donate generously in exchange for a true and effective mantra because he had no other options. The material offering, however, was declined by the Zen monk, emphasizing the insignificance of donations. Intrigued, the young man agreed to take on more difficult challenges, such as walking on hot coals. This proposal was rejected by the Zen monk, who chose a different challenge, a complex mantra. The determined young man agreed to take on the task. The Zen monk instructed the young man to mentally repeat the phrase, "I am happy, I am happy, I am happy," on his way home. The important thing was to repeat it in your head, not on your tongue. The young man, intrigued, inquired about the meaning of this mantra. The Zen monk explained that attempting this mantra would force the young man to confront his own troubling thoughts. After agreeing to the practice, the young man began mentally repeating the mantra as he left the retreat. However, the Zen monk added one final important instruction: remember not to allow monkey thoughts to invade your mind while reciting the mantra. Only then will the mantra's true power be revealed. With this guidance, the determined young man left, aware that this practice required not only words but also mental discipline. The young man set out, confident that he would not be disturbed by unwanted thoughts, repeating in his mind, "I am happy, I am happy." Everything went smoothly for a brief moment. However, the monkey thought unexpectedly entered his mind. He tried to push the thought away, but it persisted, leaving him perplexed. In his attempt to counteract the presence of the monkey thought, the young man forgot the mantra he was supposed to repeat. He resumed the practice after regaining awareness, but the monkey thought interrupted him once more. Determined to remove the distraction, he inadvertently asked his wife to serve monkey for dinner. The young man sought the Zen monk again the next morning, realizing the strangeness of his words, tormented by confusion, and unable to sleep. He knelt at the monk's feet, confessing his bewilderment. The young man explained that these images had been haunting him everywhere since the monk's advice to avoid the monkey thought. The Zen monk burst out laughing when he heard the story. After he explained that the mind's trap was intricate, the young man accidentally invited the monkey thought into his awareness by attempting to avoid it. The monk pointed out that the monkeys were present in the trees even when the young man first approached him. But his thoughts were not on them at the time, they were entangled in the sorrows that afflicted him. The lesson was clear: true freedom is found in profound understanding of the mind, not avoidance. Following the Zen monk's advice to avoid what we seek to avoid, the young man realized that what we try to avoid often penetrates deeper into our minds. What we want to get rid of is permanently linked to us, and the more we resist, the more deeply it embeds itself in our consciousness. Even when we repeat words like, "I am happy," we realize that sorrow remains in our hearts and minds. The struggle to push away sorrows frequently results in their control of our minds. Intriguingly, the young man inquired of the Zen monk as to how he could truly embody the mantra. The Zen monk advised him to stop fighting his grief. As long as we think about getting rid of our sorrows, they will stay with us, exerting influence over our consciousness. The key is to let go of the constant desire to rid oneself of sorrow. Sadness will lose its power over us if we stop thinking about it all the time. The monk explained that when we try to give something up, we often end up giving it more importance. For example, someone attempting to quit smoking or drinking may find themselves resuming these habits because the mind is constantly preoccupied with the prospect of quitting. The key, according to the Zen monk, is not to fight it, but to let it pass without giving it meaning. We can achieve our goals by allowing them to settle gently in our hearts without the resistance that fuels the persistence of challenges if we follow this mantra. In essence, Zen monk wisdom teaches us that true transformation begins when we abandon the constant battle against what we want to keep out of our lives. By desperately trying to get rid of our sorrows, we paradoxically strengthen them in our minds. Allowing these thoughts to pass without resistance, without constantly feeding the importance we place on them, is the key. By giving up the never-ending battle against our afflictions, we discover that instead of fighting the currents, we can allow them to fade away naturally. Instead of repelling, embrace and observe to make room for genuine transformation. The mantra, I am happy, is more than just a set of words, it is a practice of detachment and acceptance. As a result of incorporating this understanding into our lives, we learn to flow with experiences, allowing sorrows to pass on their own. True happiness is found in acceptance and the peace that comes with letting go, not in resistance. May we walk this path wisely, allowing peace to bloom in our hearts. Now, I will exclusively reveal to you, who have reached this point in the video, an exercise guarded under 7 keys by our time's brightest minds, an exercise crafted and practiced for centuries by wise Zen masters. Let's get started, and I'll walk you through each step. In our language, this exercise of reflection and Zen wisdom is known as letting go. Reflection moment. Set aside a few minutes to reflect on aspects of your life that you have been working tirelessly to change or control. It could be an emotion, a habit, or a particular circumstance. Identifying detachment. Consider how your resistance to this particular area has affected your mind and emotional well-being. Consider how your resistance to it may have strengthened its presence in your life. Positive affirmation. Make a positive affirmation about what you've discovered. For example, if you're experiencing persistent sadness, your affirmation could be something like, "I accept the emotions that come and go in my life, allowing sadness to follow its natural course." Detachment practice. Throughout the day, whenever you encounter thoughts or feelings related to the identified area, practice non-judgmental observation. Instead of resisting, mentally repeat your positive affirmation, keeping in mind that allowing and accepting is a sign of strength, not weakness. Maintain a journal to record your observations throughout the exercise. Keep track of how your perspective and experiences shift as you practice detachment and acceptance. Set aside a short period of time for meditation, focusing on your breath and practicing detachment. When thoughts about the identified area arise, observe them objectively and return your attention to your breath. Conclusion and final reflection. At the end of the day, consider how detachment practice has influenced your perspective and experience with the identified area. Take note of any changes in your approach to this aspect of your life. Keep in mind that acceptance and detachment are ongoing processes. This exercise aims to cultivate a more calm and balanced attitude toward situations that we wish to change, allowing for true transformation. As we begin this exercise, keep in mind that true wisdom is found in simplicity and acceptance. Allowing yourself to practice detachment opens the door to true inner freedom and transformation. I strongly advise you to approach this process with patience and compassion for yourself. Observe how inner peace can begin to blossom as you repeat your positive affirmation and engage in detached observation. Change does not occur overnight, but every small step toward acceptance is a step closer to true freedom. Allow yourself to feel the weight of what you've tried to control dissipate in this journey of self-discovery, making room for serenity. Remember to celebrate each small victory along the way, because each moment of acceptance is a significant step towards your own path of inner enlightenment. May your practice be guided by compassion for yourself and the realization that allowing detachment frees you from self-imposed constraints. May you always find the serenity you seek as you cultivate a calmer mind and a lighter heart. Continue on this path with courage and confidence, because by letting life flow naturally, you become a harmonious participant in the dance of existence. May this exercise be a blessing on your path to inner peace and genuine contentment. Please like and share if you enjoyed this video. Something significant in the comments. My name is Mario Diaz, and I am ecstatic to be able to share Zen stories rich in teachings and wisdom with you. Remember that you are a being of light deserving of all the wealth, love, health, success, and prosperity that the universe has to offer. Always have faith and be grateful. You hold a special place in my heart. Thank you for being here. I will be eternally grateful.